concept of atoms. Atoms, molecule. We have molecule and helium. So since we started with introduction to chemistry, and it deals with what? Matter. And when we are talking about matter, we are talking about what are the components of those matter. Matter can be in form of atoms, molecules, and helium. Since we have known that what matter, generally we are asking you what is matter. We all know matter. Matter is made of matter is made up of discrete particle. Discrete particles. So discrete particle called atoms, ions, and then also what? Molecules, elements, and what? And compound. All these made up of what? Matter can be made up of atoms, can be made up of ions, can be made up of molecules, elements, and compound. What do I mean by that? Look, generally chemistry deal with matter, and when we're talking about matter, it deal with what? The atom. Let's say for example now this is matter. If I say this substance is matter, so there's no way you say it's a matter, you will not see so what? Atoms coming together. What? To form what? To form this substance called what? Substance called matter. So matter is made of smallest particles. Smallest particles. Those particles are these: atoms, ions, molecules, elements, and compound. And this one now make us what? Lead us to what? The definition, meaning of each of these components of matter. So what are the meaning? Let's look at the meaning of let's first start with atoms. We can say pé àwọn lọ sí àwọn kan tí a lè rí nípa matter. Àti sọ matter generally we are àwọn kan tó made up ohun tó wà nínú nǹkan tá ń pè ní matter. Ohun ní matter a lè rí ó lè ní nǹkan tá ń pè ní atom. Fáṣí pé atom kí la pè ní atom? Nǹkan tó kéré jù nínú ẹni àyẹ̀kọ́ ions, molecules, elements àti compound. Àwọn yìí ni àwọn nǹkan tá a lè rí nínú matter. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ sí ìtumọ̀ one by one. So let's first look at atom first. Kí la ń pè ní atom? Gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti mọ̀ pé atom is the smallest particle of what? Of an element. Tí bá ní element báyìí tó jẹ́ element yẹn kí n tó kéré jù nínú ìgbà tó bá jẹ́ element ó là ń pè ní atom. So you can say now that atom is what? Is the smallest. Is the smallest part of an element. This will let it can still take part in what? In a chemical reaction. That what? That can take part in a chemical reaction. Let me look for example now. Okay, apart from that, let's look at other one. Molecule. When we talk about molecule, so molecule is the smallest particle of what? Of a substance, not element. Let's take for example now, I have this marker now as what? As substance. If I break this marker into smallest part, so there will be some smallest particle of it, smallest division of it. That's why division of this substance and body like this is called molecule. Generally, when you say molecule, we deal with substance. So substance that is for you to buy gate. Substance that is for you to buy kéré jù níbẹ̀. This is to kéré jù tó bá lè gé mọ́. Ó là ń pè ní molecule. Ó yàtọ̀ fún atom. Atom òun ní ṣe pẹ̀lú element ní chemical nature of substance ní element. But táwọn sọ nípa molecule, substance tẹ́ a lè fojú tó bá gé. Tó kéré jù tó lè gé mọ́ yẹn, ó là ń pè ní molecule. So we can say molecule. This is the smallest. This is the smallest particle of what? Of a substance. Of a substance. Molecule is the smallest particle of a substance. Smallest particle of a substance that what? That can take part in a chemical reaction. So you can see molecule is the smallest particle. So like I showed you the other time, if you hold a substance, break into smallest one, any substance you can see. So the smallest division of that substance is your molecule. Okay, let's look at the next one. The next one is our element now. Elements. So element. So when we are talking about element, so element generally is this is the substance that cannot be what? Separated by any physical means. Let me give you an example now. Let's look at this. If I say hydrogen, hydrogen generally is a kind of what? Of element. And when you look at the hydrogen as an element, there is no way you want to say, okay, let me split this hydrogen. You cannot split it. You cannot separate it. Generally, when you see any substance that you cannot separate by using any other means, you want to separate hydrogen, maybe use a what? Other method, maybe a chemical process, other law method. But any other way, maybe by using division or other way, maybe heating. Those one you cannot use. Once you cannot, any substance you cannot use a physical means to separate, that thing is referred to as element. Element. You know, àwọn kátà pé a ò lè fi àwọn method tí a fi separate nǹkan ká fi separate wọn. Àwọn nǹkan yẹn là ń pè ní element. Ó là ń pè ní element. So ohun tá a tún lè lò tá a tún máa wò ní ion. So let's look at ion. When you say ion, what is ion? Ion generally is what? A charge. A charge element. When element become charge, it's referred to as what? Ion. And we have what type of charges? Two types of ion. We have what? Positive ions and negative ions. What are the positive ions? They are those ions that what? That any element that what? Lose, that become charged by what? Losing electron. So when something gives electron out, they are positive ions. But when they what? Accept electron, they are negative ion. Generally, all metals are positive ion, while non-metal they are what? They are negative ion. So generally, we are talking about ion. So ion referred to as a charge, atom, element, or compound. You can say ion. This is the charge. This is the charge atom, elements. This is charge atom, elements, or what? Or compound. For example, now let me give you an example. I can have charge atom. Sodium is just ordinary atom. If I have Na plus, this is a charge. So this Na plus is a source, sodium ion. So this in this page now, this sodium plus here, Na plus here is what? As charged by what? By donating electron. Likewise, we have Cl. Cl is chlorine. Chlorine is just ordinary atom. But if I have Cl minus, this Cl minus is what? Is the chlorine ion. Why is the chlorine ion? It has become charged by what? By accepting electron. When something accepts electron, it becomes negative charge. If you what? Give out electron, it becomes positive charge. So a charge atom or element or compound, they are those ones that was that are what? Either gain electron or lose electron. Another one there is a let's look at another one that we have in here. So we have what we call compound. So we have compound. When we are talking about compound, what is compound? Combine is what? Combination of what? Of two or more elements that are what? Chemically combined. So this is the what? This is the combination. This is the combination of two or more elements that what? That are chemically combined. Chemically combined. So when you have two or more elements that are chemically combined, is referred to as compound. Let's look at example of compound. Look at this one now. I can have NH3. NH3 is what? Ammonia. How? You can see. You see one atom of in NH3. Look at NH3. Look at NH3. What do you see here? You see one atom of nitrogen and 3 atoms of hydrogen, and they chemically join together. Because when you see 2 or more elements like that, they chemically join together. They are what? They are. It's not physically. So that is why you cannot use the physical means to separate ammonia. And so let me separate ammonia. And let me put water into it. So let me now separate it. No. So chemical compound are that are what? Are they when you have 2 or more elements that are chemically combined together, we call them. So not only this, we have so many compounds. Like now, let me just look at this one. Na2CO3. Washing soda. Na2CO3 is also, because here you can even see how many elements here? Sodium, carbon, oxygen. 3 elements. 3 elements. So at times you can have more than 2. So you can have at least 2. When you have together, you call them compound. So the next one here is a mixture now. Let's look at mixture. Let's look at mixture. Let's look at mixture. The next one is mixture. Let's look at mixture. So when we say mixture, so when we have 2 or more substances or elements that are combined but not chemically, physically. I mean, you can be separated by physical means. So those substances they are referred to as what? As mixture. So you can say this is what? This is a combination of 2 or more elements or substance. That's why I put substance there. Or substance that are what? That are physically combined. So when you have 2 or more elements or substance that are physically combined together, they are called what? They are referred to as mixture. E.g., let's look at this. E.g., I can have e.g., we have here, we have what? We have here, we have blood, and we have sand, etc. If I say sand, if you look at sand, a lot of components are inside sand. You can see silicon for outside. You can see calcium, CaCO3. All those elements, just if you look at here now, look at here. In the air, you see the presence of what? You see the oxygen in the air. You see the nitrogen in the air. You see the carbon dioxide in the air. You have nitrogen. So all those ones they are mixed together. So they have something present, but they are not chemically combined together. The same thing with your blood. In your blood, we have white part, we have water part, we platelets, you have red blood cell, we have white blood cell. They are not chemically combined together. So that means that they are components of different things combined together, but chemically, physically combined. You can separate it by using what? The separation techniques. You separate mixture. Okay, that is that on that. Now with this now, since we've known the component of matter now let us now look at atom itself. Let's look at the constituents. What are the things that are made up of atom? Abẹ́rẹ́ àwọn kan wò lálẹ́ nínú táǹkì ní atom àti sọ nípa pé matter is made up of atom. So kí làwọn kan tá a lè nínú matter atom? That's what we are looking at. Constituents of what? Of an atom. We want to look at what are the things that atom is made up of. What are the things that we can find in an atom. That is constituent of an atom, of the atom. So let's look at the next one is constituent of the atom. If I say constituent, it means what are the things we can find in in an atom. Generally, atoms have three major particles. There are three major particles of an atom. Let's say this is an atom now. See an atom. In an atom, you see the center. Inside the center, you see here. You also see this is the shell of an atom. In the shell, you see particles outside that shell. What the name of that particle is? What is electron? You see your electron. So the at the inner side of that shell, although you see something at the center there is your nucleus. Inside the nucleus, you see two particles. There are two particles inside the nucleus. So two particles. What are those two particles? One is proton, and the other one is what? Is a neutron. So neutron. So the three particles is one is electron, one is proton, and one is neutron. These are the three major particles we find in an atom. We are talking about constituent of an atom. In terms of the atom, àwọn atom ni a sọ fún pé atom ni nǹkan tó kéré jù tí a lè rí nínú kíni o matter. So tí wọ́n rí matter ní sí nǹkan tó kéré jù tàbí nínú matter ó ní atom. Àwa ní atom yìí ó ní àwọn nǹkan mẹ́ta nínú tí ó kóra jọ pọ̀ tó ń form nǹkan tá à ń pè ní atom. So a ní atom ó ní shell níta. Ó dẹ̀ ní àwọn nǹkan ní tó wà nínú yẹn àwọn ní nucleus. Àwọn tó wà ń ta yẹn a ní electron tó ń revolve round tó ń round the round of atom. So inside there we also have two particles called proton and neutron. And with this, let's look at those three particles one by one. Let's look at those three particles one by one. So let's first look at the first one, proton. Let's look at the first one, proton. So you can say we are talking about proton. This is what? This is the positive. This is positive. This is the positive particles. This is positive particle of an atom. So the positive particles of an atom here is proton. This proton, it has a mass. It has a certain mass. Generally, we can assume that its mass is 1. You have a mass of 1. You have a mass of 1. So you have a mass of 1. So, and that mass of 1 is what? Is equal to the mass of hydrogen. Because if you look at hydrogen, how elements being arranged? Hydrogen have mass of 1. 1. So hydrogen have mass of 1. So we can say this is the positive particle of an atom with a mass of an hydrogen. We use hydrogen there as reference because why? Because the hydrogen have a mass of 1. Therefore, we can say proton have a mass of the hydrogen. Just like having the same mass as that of mass of 1. That we are making reference to hydrogen. So why the next one is your electron. So look at it. Where can it be found? It can be found what? It's located inside nucleus. It is located inside what? Inside the nucleus. So the second one here is a neutron. So the neutron, see, it's also inside nucleus. This is the particle that has what? That has no charge. That has no charge means it is neither proton and it's neither positive nor negative. It has no charge. So it can be found in the nucleus, but it has the same mass. It has the same mass as that of a proton. Just like I told you the other time, proton, positive charge in it. Mass of that mass here, mass of one only. The measure mass here, mass of one. Mass of one here, why get mass to equal to mass of hydrogen? The hydrogen is a atom, a proton of a particle. The man not many mass. So I need nucleus lower. Then neutron only charge it is not going to say positive, that's negative, only any charge. So but only the same mass, mass of proton. Proton say the mass, mass proton ni neutron ni. Our message you can find them in the nucleus of an atom. While the last part of it is what? Is electron. Let's look at electron. The last particles of an atom is electron. Let's really look at electron. Electron. So if you look at electron, so electron is you can see is outside. Proton and neutron, they are inside. So we can say electron is the what? Is the negative particles of an atom. This is the negative particle of an atom. Electron here charge to negative, but anytime you see the electron, it's always carrying minus. Anytime you see proton, you always carry plus, positive. So because of this, electron you can what? It is located at what? It is located on what? On the shell, or on the shell, or outermost part of an atom. So you can see, we always see electron on the shell, revolving around. So it's always revolving around. So what is mass? So it has a mass of 1/1840 mass of proton. What I mean 1/1840 is that when you have the mass of, let's say mass of proton is 1, divided by 1840, you can see if you divide it, it gives something like 0.00 something like that, maybe 1 2. That means the mass of what? Of electron is so small. That is why its light can revolve around. It's easy for electron to revolve around. Why? Because it has a small mass compared to proton and neutron. That's why the nucleus of an atom is always heavy. That's why the nucleus of an atom is always heavy, unlike a shell that is light. So because of what? The bulk of mass of the particles of an atom considered at the center. Because of what? Because of high mass of proton and mass of neutron. But for the shell is small mass. So the mass of electron is just one of, that is if you have the mass of proton divided by 1840 mass of proton, that is the mass of electrons. That shows that what? Electron is what? Is light. They have a small mass. So that is the particles of an atom. Particles of an atom. So with this now we are able to talk about generally introduction to chemistry. We look at physical changes, chemical changes, concept of atoms, molecules, ions,